treat at a wastewater treatment plant is clear water. There's nothing there to treat. So when you get a high hydraulic overload and you have a lot of solids in the system, that's what Bill's talking about. It washes the system out. And when you do that, it's a major violation. And we called right away.
Okay. It was a good question. Any other questions? Okay. The major scopes of the Phase 1 improvements include a new final clarifier, a new sludge digester, and storage tank. This is one single tank that is used for digestion process and the storage. Excuse me.
Well, I was wondering, are these classified as gallonage, or what's the capacity? What's the capacity of these?
The final clarifier will be exactly the same size as your existing one.
150,000.
Under 50,000. And the sludge digester, I honestly can't remember the exact number. I think that is, but it is sufficient for you to provide more than 60 days of digestions. But it also added additional storage to the storage tank.
If you want to go a comparison of the existing storage tanks, about 300,000 gallons of existing tank, and this will be comparable to the size, but the function of that will be completely different than what it is. So to give you a gallonage, I mean, you could probably run 3 million gallons through it. It's just that you have a whole different operation going on in this other tank that we're going to build.
And other items that are included in these projects are flood related, and those will be funded by FEMA. So those items will be itemized out, and on the bid form it will be single. Also, the FEMA can reimburse you for that repairs. As we're doing this this upgrade, there's an issue related to the headworks that need to be addressed. The headworks is at the beginning of your wastewater treatment plant, before your wastewater is treated by the activated sludge. The trash and the stream materials, the rags need to be taken out, need to be removed. And the sand and grease also need to be removed out of the wastewater before it gets passed through the process and damage wear down the downstream equipment. And headwork also include the pump station that elevated the wastewater up to a certain level, and then from that point on it will flow by gravity throughout the plant and into the discharge. And that facility is currently, the building has been damaged by the flood, and it has some hydraulic constraint, and the grid removal system is not effective. But because these are fairly major cost items that your staff has felt that before the project moving forward, this should be separated out and be evaluated, be presented to the council. Particularly this year, we have several new council on board, and ask for the council to consider approval for the additional scope. So at this point in time, I simply want to bring up the issue that there are additional scope that need to be addressed, but we will, Jeff and I will go through some of the evaluations and perhaps involve some of the council to be in the brainstorming stage to come up with a way to address that issue.
I've got another question about, they have a screen before the first steps in the process take place. How are they going to take and get all the trash and stuff that they don't want to go in there?
That's correct.
So what is the method by which they separate that stuff out?
At this present time, you have a rotating screen that got inserted into your wastewater stream, so when the wastewater flows through the screen, it is captured by the screen, and then there's a rag that scrape it up periodically and dump it
spits
into.
out.
Yeah, eventually it got auger up, and through the process of augering up, water is sprayed on the screenings, and it was compressed and dumped it into a dumpster. And after that, I believe that Jeff, you have to carry it down, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we get to bag it up and haul it away. There's a lot more efficient ways to do it. The best thing to do is any one of the council would wanna come down, I'll give you a tour. And,
Just grab a tool and work.
well, we have rubber gloves, or we have hand sanitizer, your choice.
So this issue, the headwork issue will be further addressed. It is not included in the current plan and specification here, just to let you know. This map shows you the locations of the treatment plant. Let me see if I can. Okay, this is the headworks. This is where wastewater is pumped up to the headwork building, and then going through a screen and group removal, and after that it flows through this activated sludge system, and then discharged into the clarifier. We are proposing to add additional new clarifier. The sludge is currently digested in this little tiny small tank here. This is only 7-8 feet deep, very shallow. What we are proposing is adding a new sludge digester, and also acting as a storage. And this will provide 6 times as much as what this reactor is doing. Okay. This is the existing sludge storage tank. So after digestion, the sludge is stored in this tank, and every spring and fall, sludge is pumped out by the operator and then applied to the farmland.